Why and vision, are they the same thing? By the end of this video, you're going to have 3 tips around your why and your vision, personally and for your team or organization. I'm Jono White, founder and principal consultant of Clarity. We work with leaders around the world, and I just want to thank you for subscribing, following, liking, sharing. That really helps us to go out there and help more leaders to become the very best they can be. So if you haven't done that yet, please do that now. Click subscribe, click follow, like, or share, and help us get the word out. So why and vision, are they the same thing? The short answer is yes, I believe they are the same thing. Why, vision, mission. I know we cut them up differently and we talk about them differently, but yes, they are the same thing. What do I mean by that? At the end of the day, what we're trying to communicate here is the reason we exist, the picture of where we're going, why we do what we do. And all of these things really, to me, I believe are the same thing. When you unpack them and drill down into them, they overlap and cross over massively. So I want to challenge you. If you're watching this because you're interested in finding out your why or your vision, or your team or organization's why or vision, let me stop you right there and say, you know what, it's less important how you define it, it's less important exactly what you say it is, and it's more important that you do the following 3 things. So focus much less on crafting the perfect vision statement, mission statement, why, and focus on 3 things. First thing is, must be true. Whether it's why, vision, mission, I've seen too many why, vision, mission statements for a person, for a team, for an organization. It's simply not true. It's a wish. I wish this was our mission. And so the first thing for you is worry less about how it sounds, worry less about the crafting the perfect sentence, and instead sit back and say, is that true? Is that really why I get out of bed? Is that really why we do what we're doing? And a great way to do that is to look at the founding story. So for an organization, why did our organization come into being? And the best place to look is the founders. If the founders are still alive in your organization or team, then literally ask them. If you're in an organization that's been around a long time and you can't ask the founders, then see if you can unearth any stories. And once again, it's much less about crafting that perfect statement. It's even about doing this process as a team, as an organization. Is amazing because it helps everyone to realize the truth in this, because it has to be true. The second thing is it needs to become part of everything you do, part of every day. Once again, people get too caught up in crafting the perfect thing that they can put up on the door. My challenge to you is forget the sentence that you want to make perfectly and show me how vision, why, mission is played out every day in your organization. What do I mean by that? Okay, option 1, put it up on the door and look at it every day. Option 2 is to create a system where we share what I call vision stories, why stories, mission stories. That remind us why we do. How are people's lives being transformed by your organization? That's vision. That's why. That's mission. Yes, I'm a believer in crafting a sentence, but my point is that's secondary. What matters most and what actually makes the difference with why, vision, mission is that you go on and on and on about it every day. And that if I came into your team or organization and said, show me how you're doing this, show me where your why, vision, mission hits the road every day, you could pull out 50 stories, 50 videos. The last 20 staff meetings, how you had 3 stories in every staff meeting of people sharing how they've seen people's lives transformed. So that's more important. And the third thing that I want to encourage you with why and vision, if you're asking this question, are why and vision the same thing? I sort of touched on this a little bit in the second one about going on and on about it, but the third one is all about stories. I am a big believer that why, vision, mission equals stories. What do I mean by that? It's really hard to define your why. If you tell me in a sentence, sure. Okay, you've said it in a sentence, I'm starting to lean in. Tell me a story. Tell me a story of, or even let me put it another way for you right now. I want you to think of one of the stories in your life that had the greatest impact on who you've become. A story that had the greatest meaning in your life so far in you becoming who you are today. What comes to mind? A person, a place? You were a teenager? Was it positive? Was it negative? Was it a workplace? Was it a family situation? What was it? Now, I promise in that story, as that started to come to mind, boom, some of your vision, why, and mission is in that story. It's the same for teams and organizations. And Simon Sinek unpacks this really well in his book, Start With Why, because he talks, you see, if you look at his system for starting with why, finding why, it's all about stories. And stories are, if vision is like a seed, and it's so often hard to find it and work out where it is, you can go looking for it. But stories somehow capture that. It's like the soil to grow the seed of vision into something you can actually see, into a big oak tree. That's what a powerful story does. That's it. I see it now, and I didn't see it before. So they're the three things I want to encourage you in. Are why and vision the same thing? Yes, in my opinion, why, vision, mission are all really the same thing because they all overlap. That might be controversial for some people, but I believe at their essence, they're the same. We're talking about the same thing. And for me, it's much less important what you call it. It's much less important how you define it. It's much less important how you craft the perfect sentence. And instead, forget those things and focus on the things that I've talked about in this video or podcast, wherever you're watching or listening. And if this has helped you to get clear in your leadership, then comment with the word clarity. Everything we do is about helping leaders to get clarity in their personal leadership, in their teams, in their organizations. And I hope that's really helped you. Don't forget, stories, vision, why, mission, it's all about stories. You need to go on and on and on about it. And you need to be the chief reminding officer in your organization. And when it comes to vision or why, it needs to be true. If it's not true, it doesn't matter what you call it, it's useless. So make sure it's true. Make sure you go on and on and on about it, and it's embedded in everything you do, and use stories. And that's going to take you a long way in your personal vision or why, or for your organization or team in the wider vision or why. I'm John O'White. It's been a pleasure to spend some time with you, and I hope you found this valuable, and I look forward to catching you next time. Cheers.